some transaction codes, right? ST01, ST02, the performance related transaction code, ST03, all these transaction codes we discussed. So workload analysis, buffers, hit ratio, all these things we discussed. Today we'll go with the some other transaction codes called the ST04. After the 3, we have the 04, ST05, ST06, then ST07. So these are the transaction codes. So instead of using the ST04 and DB01, DB02 for the database related, then so here ST04, then DB13, then DB12. So DB12, this all if you use it or just use the one transaction code that is called the Dbacockpit. So these all are related to the database related. These all are related to the database related transaction codes here. So in the database level, if you want to, in the database level, if you want to, so do any checks. So if you don't have the access to database level, by opening the SAP itself, you will see the all the information and everything you will see here, right? By opening the SAP, you will see the all the information and everything, you will open it here, right? So that is what we discussed, right? So yesterday we see there is no load for yesterday, right? So now when I started my job, like the collector performance job, the load got generated for the yesterday's Mondays. So the load got generated. Why? Because what about the Tuesday means our time is here Wednesday, but system time is the Tuesday here. That's why here Monday time got generated. When the time clock changed here, immediately the yesterday's date, like Tuesday date, it will be created here. So here, if you open it, yesterday we can see all the information. So that job is very, very, very important here. That job is very important here. That job is very important here. So to do the all the activities, so for the populating the values and everything, the job is responsible here. And also you see here that HTTP means normally nowadays we are using the Fury. Then so Fury means HTTP URL, that is calling the your backend, so your systems, backend your so SAP systems. So that is also, so it's responding. That is also the average response time also, that is also giving the values here. So that, so everything, but everything we are opening from the dialog mode, some logon pads, and also we are opening from the launchpad, Fury launchpad, we are opening the all the applications and everything, right? So that is also one thing here. So yesterday we have checked this one, right? Just want to give for yesterday's one, why it is very slow, what has been executed in the yesterday, in the system, in the development system, what has been executed. So if you go to the time profile, transaction profile, if you click on here, this transaction profile, the time profile, both are very important here. So when you see here, yesterday someone started the SGen, right? SGen they have started here. Now who started this SGen here? Who started this SGen here? If you see here, so who started means the DDAC user. With the DDAC user, someone started the SGen. So SGen, if you start the SGen, what happens? It will load the entire your system. System will be very slow. So SGen is one-time activity. It's not like that regular activity you to perform the so SGen activities, right? Just one-time activity that you have to schedule it. Not every time. If you keep on scheduling the SGen activities, every time if you keep on scheduling the SGen activities, system will be definitely, it will be slow, right? So you have to take.
Is this Dbacockpit transaction or what transaction?
No, ST03. Why? Because before I explain this one, yesterday the load is not populated here, but we scheduled the one job. So today when we see here, the load is populated here. The values are populated because of the job is responsible. The job is responsible for the all these values and everything here. So that's one to show to everyone. I opened the so this transaction code here. So SCC8 basis user, right? So all these things we can see it here profile. So let's see in which time yesterday, so it got slow here. In which time loans we have the very high profile here, right? In the 9 to 10 we have the very high, then 10 to 11 also very high, then only so 9 to 10, 10 to 11. The response times are very high, very bad, which means someone practicing or something. maybe it's a very bad. So the response times are very high here, average response times, right? This way, this is the way we need to calculate this one. Okay, so let's go to the today's topic like ST04, kind of database related performance. Suppose same as like SAP, how we are checking, then same as like here, ST04 is the DB performance here. So when you go to the DB performance here, you see the all the database related information. So performance issues, everything you will get. Either you can use ST04 or DB01. This is the DB related performance. DB01 is for the database logs. So DB02 is for the database space and everything. DB13 for the planning calendar and everything. DBA planning calendar. So DB12 is for the DB logs. So instead of using all these transaction codes, if you use the same transaction code, so you will get the all those things will be ready here. You will get the all those things here. You can see all those things are ready here, right? You see the all the things. So this is the DBST04. You will get the same screen, right? You got the same screen here. Then if you open the DB, so DB01, you will get the same screen here. So same screen. So you will get the same tabs, same screen you will get from here, right? So this is the way we can see the database related here. So locking DB01 is for the lock. So in SAP level, we have the SM12 for the locks. So same tabs, same thing you will get from here, right? So instead of that, you can also use the DB12. This transaction codes for the direct accessing the respective pages, direct accessing the respective pages. Instead of using this one, you can use the Dbacockpit transaction code. You can use the Dbacockpit transaction code for so for opening the DB related things here. For opening the DB related things here. For opening the DB related things, you can use it here, right? So for SAP locks, lock entry, SAP lock, LOCK, that we will see in the SM12, right? For the same as like in the DB level also, DB lock entries we can see in the DB01, right? So this is the way. Same here, you can see the again same tabs are available here. So this is the Dbacockpit transaction code, right? Dbacockpit transaction code here. So this transaction code is used to all the DB related things we can check in the one transaction code here. For SAP, we have the multiple transaction codes to check the CPU, memory, space, locks, all these things, right? But here, the DB01, Dbacockpit is the one you can check the all those things here. In the Dbacockpit here, you can see the what is your system landscape here, right? So what is your system landscape here? So maybe data system configurations, how many database connections, DB connection monitor, so planning calendar, all these things like you can see here, database remote connections, everything, and database connection monitor here. So all these things we can see in the how many connections are initiated in the DB level from application. So what are the work processor connected to the database connections and everything, right? So and also central calendar in the Dbacockpit. In the Dbacockpit, if you see here, you see the all the planning calendar. Planning calendar means you can plan the backups, you can plan the some other checks, all these things by using this calendar. You can plan it here. By using this calendar, you can plan it. Just click on this button, click on right click and create. When you create it, the calendar will be created here. Same as like here the performance. In the performance tab, you will see the overview. Means it's kind of ST04. So here you can see the overview of the database. So what is the database performance? So and any issues, IO issues. So all these things here you can see here critical alerts. What is the machine? So what is the release? What is the physical memory? What is the current memory usage? What is the SQL fixed one? So all the information. What is the disk space? So in that free is the this one. Total log space in that free is the this one. So all the information you can see here, all the information you can see here, current activity. So and also alerts, are there any critical alerts? There are the three critical, the three just to alerts, not the critical, just exceptions. 3 yellow alerts, which means not much critical. So all kind of DB level SQL statements. What are the statements? Why? Because if any data is coming to the database level, it will execute in the form of SQL statement level. One query will be executed here, right? So what are the top SQL statements? So all this will be executed here, right? Then IO performance, DB locks, DB lock entries, DB01, DB lock entries here. So any lock entries in the system or not, so it will display the systems. Any memory, no lock entries, nothing will be displayed. So memory overview, it will give the memory related issues, memory information. Getting the memory information. Okay, so let me click development profile. Choosing the development profile for the installation purpose. See here, the memory profile is getting here. So here data is not exist in the buffers. That is the reason it is going to the database level. It is pulling from here. See here, what is the physical memory here? How much available here? What is the page memory available page? So here SQL memory. So all this information, which one is taking the longer time? So all the history information, so all these things here, it is displaying here, right? And also indexes in the database level, what is the index usage, history, all kind of information it is showing here, all kind of information it is saving here. Next, space history, space related information. So what are the current space history, single table analysis, largest tables, what are fast growing tables, what we have in the systems, that will be displayed here, fast growing tables. So all will be. So see here, number of data files 4. In the total size of the space, this one allocated, this one free memory is the very less here, right? So like that they have the everything. And also largest tables, you can also see the everything. All this DBA cockpit is for the database related, DB related things we can monitor it here. So DB related things we can do it from here, database related. So database related means DB level. So all the performance monitor, whatever you do, the database level, everything you can do it from the SAP level also, you can do that one. So what are the largest tables which is used? How much data is there? How many rows are there? So all the information is populated here. See here, all the information are there here. These are the tables list here. These are the tables list here. Then fast growing table. Which tables are growing very fast? Which tables are growing very fast in the database level? If you open this one, you can see here. So which tables? So this is the one of the table is going very fast here. Maybe you can filter here. You can filter. So you can filter by ascending order. Then you will see the which table here. So this is one of the REP load, repo load, and repo SRC and D010. These all are the tables here. So these tables are having, it's growing very fast. When was the last updated here? 18th, 21st, 21st. So it's growing very fast here. And also here we can see the history DB size history. From what date to what date, how the size is getting increased. The size history also we can see it here. So monthly, so weekly, daily, what is the space utilization here? How much data is getting increased here, right? So all these things we can find out here. This is the 21st, then 14th, maybe weekly, I guess this one. Yes, weekly wise. So weekly wise, you can see here. So what is the space it is giving here? What is the space it is getting increased here? So here you can see allocated space. Initially on the 14th, we have the 11,000. Then in the 20 allocated space is the 20,000. The space is getting increased here. So right. So and also the number of tables here 25, here 41,000. So here like this we can check the some information about the for weekly wise. We can check it out here. Weekly wise we can check the information here. So and weekly wise we can check the database information. We can check for weekly wise here, right? And also the table history. So which table is growing very fast? So what is the history, previous days history, and all the information is retrieved from the database level. You can see here. So this is the table. You can see this is the table. So it is increasing. This is the table is getting increased here. So and also you can take the graph also. Suppose manager someone asked you to provide the graphs, then we can take the data here, how much data, then there is a graph, display the graph wise. So you can display the graph wise, you can pull the data also. Graph wise, you can pull the data also. Which table is taking the much one? Then after that, what is next? Like that, top tables, we can take the graph, we can pull it out from here, right? So this one we can do that one. Or if you want to export, here there is a spreadsheet. You can export to the spreadsheet also. You can export that one, right? That is also possible here. Spreadsheet, text, wherever you want, you have the options. You want to print this one, just click on the print button. Then here the spool work process will give the print, right? We know this one, right? Here. So then go to the additional functions here, triggers and stored procedure database level. When you are going to the database level, you will get the more space, performance, like backups, system landscape, all these things, right? Backups means the database level backups and all the information here. So configurations means what are the configuration of the parameters and everything here. The more we will discuss when we are discussing about the HANA DB administration, right? Jobs. So what are the jobs currently? Alerts, critical alerts, and also diagnosis files. Diagnosis files means log files. Suppose he has some errors. So then if you go to the audit logs or SQL Server errors, you will see whether the database level, if you find out any errors or not, you will get the from errors here. In the database level, you will get the errors here. So you will get the audit logs in the days wise. And also if you go to the error log files in the SQL Server level, you will find out the what are the errors in the systems. What are the errors in the system? That information you will get from here, right? So delete all the instances. No. Here you want to delete 4 and 5. These are the additional instances, right? So just want to delete those things, 4 and 5. Right? So that information, error information, we can pull it out. See here, it is going to the database level, then it is pulling the data from database level, which means here buffers are not fully loaded here. So buffers are not fully loaded. That is the reason we see that this type of slowness in the systems. So if the buffers are there, buffers are loaded, definitely we won't face any issues here. Definitely we won't face any issues here. Buffers having the issues, so that is the reason we see this type of errors here, right? So let me.
So why should there be some line items under the second half of the screen under system action?
Here?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Here nothing is there. It is loading. You can see 3 dots, it is loading. The data is getting loaded to the here. The data is getting loaded here. Well, because I selected the SQL errors, which means it will go and pull the data from your file system level. There is a error log file, SQL error. There is a log file here. You go to the here, so you will see the one error log file here, SQL error. So it will go and pull the data from here. It will go and SQL error, then SQL error. So here, this is the log file. So here, this is displaying actually. This log file is getting displayed here. This log file, because in this log file, you will see the database. It's SQL Server, right? This log file will be displayed here. This log file related information is displayed here. So this log file information is displayed here. So that is the reason we can see some errors. So reason failed to open some errors, some database. So all these activities we have some errors. So any database related errors. So any errors in the database SQL Server, especially, we can go to the error log file here. Here you will get some information here. Same, you can see Same log files are displayed here. Now we manually went to the error log file. We have seen here, instead of that, error log file, error log 1, 2, 3, 4. Same as like here in the SAP level also displayed error 1 log file here. If you open it here, it will display the messages here. Instead of opening here, you can directly go to the there, you can open it here. Then this is the SQL command editor, which means here we can run the some SQL commands and everything. You can run it here. You can run the some SQL commands. Suppose you want to run, you don't have access to direct access to database level. You want to execute some commands here. Then you can execute some commands here. It will pull the data from database level. So it will from the database. So from SAP level also you can execute the data here. So I executed the one sample query, which means pull the data from database level, right? So I got all the data, who are there, what are the users are there, all the information I got it here. You can see all the information I got it from here. So here in that SAP star is locked, then so remaining users are unlocked. So, okay, and here one more thing, SAP star and Rakesh user. So like that, I can pull the data from the database level. I can pull the data here. I got the data. So to execute anything here also we can execute it. That is the one. So if any deadlocks monitor. So like this, we want to download anything, spreadsheets or anything. So we can save spreadsheets, download the spreadsheets, all these things. So database level, whatever we do, all kind of information we can find out from here. All the information we can get from here, right? Database level information. So that is what we can see here in the DBA cockpit here. DBA cockpit is the one of the central monitoring tool to monitor the only database related. So if you want to SAP level, we have the SAP level transaction codes, right? ST02, ST03, ST04 here. So that is the way. Now I think we access it today multiple transaction codes. Go to the ST02, you see the buffers here. To see the buffers. Now buffers are starting increasing here. The buffer situation will start increasing here. So if we keep on accessing, so same transaction codes here, suppose DBA cockpit, right? So it will be fast again now. It will be fast. Why? Because we already accessed it, right? So it give the fast here. So DBA cockpit. So it will give the results to you. It will give the results to you. So it will give the results to you. See here, starting the SAP application. Normally, it should not take this much time also. This much time also it should not take here. See here, we got the response here. So like that, database level, anything you want to see, the space, performance, backups, errors. So you want to execute some queries. So all these things you can do it from the DBA cockpit transaction code. DBA cockpit transaction code. All these things you can see it from the DBA cockpit transaction code. DBA cockpit is the transaction code here to monitor the all those things here, right? So apart from the DBA cockpit, so one more transaction code is called the ST05, right? It is kind of this is also tracing, but this is the performance trace. ST01 is for the system trace. This is the performance trace here. Suppose you want to trace the HTTP trace. So some people, they are unable to connect to SAP system through browser. Then HTTP trace, RFC trace. So remaining all of the related traces, we can on it. We can activate the trace. Then so we can just deactivate the trace. Then see the display the trace. Here you will get the what is the exact error, which statement is taking a long time. So where it is taking the longer duration. So what are the statement in the span of duration 92 milliseconds. Immediately we started, we have activated, we have deactivated, then we have seen, right? In the span of time, see how many records are executed here, right? In that record, which query is taking the long duration here. You can see, you can filter it out, this long duration also you can filter it out. Which query? So this is the one, right? This is the one. The next one, which one is here? Anything larger? I think this is the one. See here, this is the trace main, commit forced. So when the commitment is forced, what is the statement it is executed here, right? You can see first select statement, select statement. So then insertions, insert statements here. Then so commit records, percentage. So all this information which tables it is referred here. So in this table, what is the program it is called here. So how much records it is fetched here, what is the duration here, all the information you can see it from here. That is called the system performance. So if anything goes wrong, so we can open the system performance tab. So here we can check the, suppose HTTP trace. Just to switch on the HTTP trace, then you can log in through browser. Maybe you can just log into the our cockpit, our SAP cockpit. Our cockpit, we have the cockpit, right? So Fiori cockpit. Just to open the our Fiori dev, right? If you open the Fiori, then so it will open it, right? So it will open it. I need to sign in first. Without signing, how can I access it here? So that what will happen here, so if I tracking this one, if I deactivate the trace, then display the trace here, then you just switch execute it, you will see the traces here, you will see the traces here, but HTTP trace is not located. Why? Because I don't see any HTTP user sessions are initiated in the systems. So if anything are initiated, then we can track it here. We can track it here. All are GA sessions only. One user in the GA session, one user in the basis user in the 000 client. All are in the this sessions only. I don't see much users here. So that is the reason the HTTP trace is not tracked here. HTTP trace is not tracked here. So then when you go to this page here, let me switch on the trace whether it will display any HTTP trace or not. Right? So let me unselect all. We'll select only HTTP here, right? So just select here. Okay, trace HTTP trace is activated here. Then let me go to my console here. What is the site? Yeah. So I'm trying to access my development here, right? Development here. So okay, the cloud connector sub account. Okay, some cloud connector, I think it's down. We stopped the system, right? Maybe cloud connector is not starting, I guess. Yeah, that's the issue. Cloud connector is stopped status. So we need to start the tenants and sub accounts. Okay, so that is the secondary that I will do that one. So you can see the uninstallation is cleaning something here. So deleting the directories, profiles, and everything here. So okay, so don't perform any activities. So now itself, so no one was okay. There are the 77 GB activities here just to access the SAP and to practice it. Don't do the installations. So everything here in this screen, it will be slow, right? Just to deactivate the trace, then display the trace, then the trace will be displayed to the users. Not only my user, if the all the users, then trace will be displayed here. Now currently we don't have any trace here. That's why the trace is not displaying here, right? So that is the reason the trace is not getting displayed here. So like that, we can open the trace, you can activate the trace, you can see it everything from the traces here, right? This is for the ST05 performance trace. ST06, only rare cases we will use the ST01, ST05. So remaining all, so daily we will check, right? So Dbacockpit, ST02, 3, 4, all these things. So this is the operating system level utilization. This is the operating system level utilization, OS level. So that Dbacockpit is the database level. Then SAP level, we have the transaction code. Same as like operating system level also. Operating system level also, you can see the what is the system utilization, what is your operating system, when it was the restarted. Then, so is it
What was the transaction that you used here?
ST06?
Okay.
ST06 is the next transaction code for the OS related performance. OS related performance. ST05 is the performance trace. 01, 02 are the traces, performance trace. So Dbacockpit is DB related trace performance and everything. We can check it out. Then ST0, then ST02, ST03, ST0 for the SAP level. We have total 3 levels, right? One is the OS level, SAP level, DB level. So OS level, ST06 can take care of the OS level monitoring and everything. ST01 and 2 are the traces. Let me make it here. ST01 and 5 are the traces, system trace and performance trace. So then these all transaction codes are for the DB level monitoring, and ST02 ST03 for the SAP level monitoring, DB level monitoring, then OS related monitoring here. So here in the ST06 transaction code here, we can see here, so what is the your model, what is the hardware manufacturing here, so what is the average processing time here, and also how much system is replacing, how much user is replacing, what is the idle time here. Here idle time is 0. Idle time means free. Idle time means free. So here there is no free. So there is no free usage. All CPUs. OS level means OS level. What will be there? Operating system level. CPUs, memory, network, disk. Right. So that type of information we can see it here. So CPU. Then memory. We have the memory. So how much physical memory, free memory, all these things we can see it here, right? Then, so disk, we can also see the historical, the previous hours also the CPU utilization, we can see it from here, the previous hours CPU utilization. So then, so here memory utilization here. So CPU, memory, disk, LAN, top CPU process, all the information we can see it from here. All the information we can see it from here, right? So disk utilization, previous hours, history. So all kind of information we can see it from here. So here in ST06 mainly we see so CPU, memory, disk, network, all the kind of information we can see it in the ST06 transaction code, ST06 transaction code here, right? So that is the main thing of the checking the transaction code and everything here, right? So that is the one, right? So the next one, so that is the main thing here. We will check in the ST06 is the transaction code. Here, CPU related information. What is the CPU here? It's divided into the 3 types here. System utilization, how much? User utilization, how much? Free, how much? So here, system user utilization is 95, system utilization is 100% is already done. So then there is nothing. That is the reason here is showing the 0%, which means system is not free. System is not free. So number of CPUs, how many? Number of processors, number of CPU cores, how many? Number of threads, how many? So each CPU, how much utilization is taking here? Total 4 CPUs. CPU 0, 95% of load. CPU 1, 96% of load. CPU 2, 98% of the load is taking care. CPU 3, 90% of the load it is taking care. So it's like a round robin mechanism. Now 4 CPUs will handle the load here. 4 CPUs will handle the load. Right? So memory, how much memory here we have? So what is the free percentage of the memory? So all the information, OS level, you don't need to go to the OS level and task manager and see. In the SAP level itself, you can go to the here we can see the all the information here. What is the physical memory? Total 16 GB. What is the free memory here? 1 GB. So all the information here we can see in the here, and also you can see the history also. Previous hours history also we can see it here, right? So and also LAN network. So LAN also we can see network usage. So what is the network bandwidth here? If you open the LAN means our network. What is the network usage? How much? What is the page in and the page out? Input response and output response. So all the information will be so gathered from here. All the information will be so gathered from here. Fetching the data here. See here. So this is the our LAN name is Intel. So in that LAN, so 38 in, 30 out. So which means so some packets are lost here. Some packets are lost. So 68. So total 68 packets here. So LAN in, LAN out here. So like that, we can see top CPU contributors. So which means which are the process which are contributing the top CPU here. Means most of the memory contributors here. Here the update.exe, the system process. Then the second one is the Chandra, I think, Chandra related. It's only used in the less one. Maybe we can filter by ascending order. Something is there, then we can filter it out. Then this is the one of the top CPU, top contributors here, which is consuming most of the thing. Maybe this is the Windows admin, Windows level, I think. This is the Windows. This is the Windows process. This is the Windows update process here. It is consuming the lot of CPU utilization and everything here. Lot of CPU utilization and everything it is consuming here. The next one is the, this is the disk network and cloud connector SEC host. Then next one is the one of the work process is consuming the lot of memory. So like that, we can see here all the information we are finding, everything we are getting from the SAP level itself, not in the OS level. Database, you have to log into the database level. Operating system, you need to log into the operating system. Just go to the respective system, then you will get the all the information from the system here. Just to go to execute the transaction codes, then you will get the 3 layers. You will get the transactions, OS level and performance related, then DB layer and SAP layer. All these 3 layers you will see the performance here, right? So the one more transaction code is the ST07. This is called a small transaction code, but it's not in useful, but it's called the application monitor and load distribution, the distribution, application monitor and load distribution. So this is a transaction code, which means in the SAP we have the list of components are there, basis components, functional components, HR components. Each component, how many users are logged in, what are the active users, what is the work process which is active here. So that kind of users, total 121 users in the system, number of active servers 1. So number of all the clients and work process are 13. So in that, so number of, just we can see that just information, each component, how many users are logged into the systems or not. Here nothing we will do, just checking only. That's why it's not in useful. No one check this one. Application monitor and the user distribution. Each application monitor, which users are distributed to the which component. Now we all are using the basis component. That's why it's showing the basis components. Sometimes success factors, functional team, they will, all the components will be listed here. This is the application monitor and the load distribution related transaction codes here. So once this is done, so tomorrow, maybe I will pause it here. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the daily monitoring activities. That is the very important.